This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian. And
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit, Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
My name is Gino Rivera, the Frank Sinatra of the Spanish Mafia, the Puerto Rican Pitbull, the Latino Al Pacino, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Why? Because I told you so.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today. The trusted choice to interview all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James J., alongside my co-host, Scooter Dust.
Hey.
And it is a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with the Frank Sinatra of the Spanish Mafia, the Latino Al Pacino, the Puerto Rican Pitbull, the Drill, Gino, I told you so, Rivera.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's about time you guys got a star on the podcast. And I'm ready. I'm here. I'm locked. I'm loaded. I'm ready to chat it up with you and everybody else. What you guys got for me? You guys got some questions? Anything you want to talk about?
Yes. And
love that enthusiasm.
Before we get into getting into the questions, can you tell us what you got coming up next, event-wise, and your social media?
Absolutely. You can find me on every single social media platform at Gino Toldyouso, one word. That's Gino Toldyouso, one word. And guys, I'm going to be everywhere this year. I'm going to be in Texas, Wyoming, California, Montana, Colorado, Arkansas, Arizona, North Dakota, you name it. I'm going to be there. You can find me and where I'm going to be on all of my social media platforms promoted hourly. Also, check out my school in Albuquerque, New Mexico, OTR, Off the Ropes Pro Wrestling Sessions with Gino Rivera.
Right, and you don't have to go looking. All of the links to all his social media and merchandise will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. Alright, you mentioned it. Off the ropes training school. Can you tell us about it?
Yes, I am the head and lead coach and trainer at OTR, Off the Ropes Pro Wrestling in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I started my school July 29th of 2019. I am a graduate of Santino Bros Wrestling in LA of 2009, and I'm just taking what they taught me and I'm applying it and teaching it to my students of all genders, all religions, all shapes and sizes. Doesn't matter who you are. I want you here at Off the Ropes Pro Wrestling School. What are you waiting for? Get in the ring.
Hell yeah. And obviously, you've been around for 16 years professionally. On the 17th, last week, happy wrestling birthday. One of the names that I found interesting that you've competed against is somebody that's been around a very long time, Brutal Bob Evans. What was it like competing against Brutal Bob?
Brutal Bob Evans is one of the most decorated wrestlers to have ever laced up a pair of boots. I see Brutal Bob Evans as a mentor, a friend, and like a father that I never wanted, a father that I never had, but I appreciate Bob, and he's done so many good things for our industry. I mean, just the other night, he linked me up with a WWE superstar, and I could not be more appreciative of that man. I love him. I love stepping into the ring with him, and I wish I could take him and make 1,000 more wrestlers because I think everyone could learn a heck of a lot from Bob. I think everybody could give this man more flowers than they do. He is an asset to your locker room. He is an asset to the company that he works for. He is an asset to anywhere that he goes. And I couldn't be more happier than to call him my friend. Thank you, Bob.
Oh yeah, shout out to Boodle Bob. Alright, Scooter, you have a question.
Of course, Brutal Bob, big friend of the show. Now, from Off the Ropes, is that where the vet card came from?
Absolutely not. That came to me backstage at a WWE Raw show. I was in Oklahoma, Tulsa to be exact, and one of the vets gave me that card, and I damn near fell out of my chair. It was one of the funniest things that's ever happened to me. I still have it to this day. I haven't given it to anybody yet, but one of these days, if you're not careful, you're going to get one of those cards.
Uh, all right, and I know you do a lot of work for UWN and Championship Wrestling from. I actually have done work for uh, Championship Wrestling from Arizona and for Hollywood. I have written. Write closed captions, and I believe I have one of your matches to my credit. I have to go looking through my whole resume of work, but I just figured I'd mention that.
That is amazing. Yes, I am actually from Championship Wrestling from Hollywood and Arizona, working under the mastermind, the evil genius himself, David Marquez. I couldn't be more happier. I love that man to death. He gave me a shot when a lot of other people wouldn't. He put me on TV. He put me in front of the right eyes, and I became one of the longest Arizona state champions in history. I held that belt for 315 days, defeating a lot of really great wrestlers that helped elevate and build me. And I am the man I am today because of guys like David Marquez, Mick Greenwood, Peter Avalon, Angelo Trinidad. The list goes on. Yuma, you know what I mean? I can't thank them enough. I love, 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 love Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, but I love Championship Wrestling from Arizona just a little more. So much that I have the championship belt hanging in my office to remind me every day of all of the hard work that it took to win a championship. It took me 9 years to actually win my first championship, and when I did, all I could say was, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. Because I've been telling people that my whole life. You know, they told me I wouldn't become a wrestler. I did it. I told you so. They told me I wouldn't live the life I have. I said I was gonna. I told you so. You know what I mean? It's more of a, that saying to me means more than anything. It's a motivator. I once had a principal tell me that I was going to be dead or in jail or on drugs, and I'm none of that. And I can't wait to see that man and say, I told you so.
I'm just going to drop one more name before I throw it back to James. I had a friend who I've known since I was 18, and even though when I knew him, he wasn't a wrestling fan, but when I started talking to him again, it turns out he was actually working in a high position for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. And at one point, he was a head booker. I'm talking about Nick Bonanno.
I love Nick Bonanno. I totally forgot to shout him out. He's been nothing but a smiling face and a good friend to me. And if you guys pay attention to your TVs, you'll catch Nick Bonanno sometimes slipping in on a segment in NXT. Um, that is one of the most brilliant minds and hardest working men you'll ever get to meet. More people should be like Nick Bonanno. I love him.
Yep. And it turns out he actually started with me when I was training in the NYWC. He went down the road of referee behind the scenes stuff. But it's great to see the people we know do well, because now he's working in NXT, which is Absolutely,
Phenomenal.
phenomenal.
Yes.
All right, James, throwing it back to you.
I actually have a follow-up question of what you about championship wrestling from Arizona. You mentioned it being the first championship you've captured. After 9 years in the business. When you did win that championship, was it a moment you took in the moment, or is it something that kind of set in afterwards? Like, wow, I did this.
A little bit of both. When I first won the championship, I held it in my hands and I stared at it because I just it was just a whole fast forward of your whole career from 9 years up to that point, and it made it so worth it. All the blood, sweat, tears, you know what I mean? The buckets of blood, the buckets of tears that I've cried, the lost relationships, the rekindled relationships, everybody that supported me, everybody that spat at me, it just all took over. And I looked at that belt, and that I was so happy and angry at the same time because I was happy that I accomplished a goal, one of my dreams, and then I was angry at the same time because I was like, I freaking told you so. I told everybody I was going to do this. And why didn't anybody believe me? Why isn't my family here? Why aren't my friends here to support me? I was just so angry, and that's all I could yell. You know what I mean? So after winning the championship, I couldn't stop looking at it. I literally put my belt right in my passenger seat and I drove 6 hours and I just kept looking at it because it was so unbelievable that I won that somebody looked at me and said, "You're the guy." You know what I mean? And as far as a memory that lasts forever in my head is I slept at a bank parking lot in Arizona. I was so tired of driving that I slept in a parking lot the day I won that championship. I could have got a hotel, I could have driven straight home, but I slept in a bank parking lot with that title, and I just felt so validated and secure and safe and just overwhelmed with what happened that night. I am a part of history now forever, and no one can take that from me.
Hell yeah. Now, you've done a lot of work for WWE. Most notably to me personally, you wrestled Keith Lee in a dark match on before SmackDown. What was that experience like?
I could tell you that experience was just amazing. Anytime you get to work for the WWE, that is a huge a badge of honor. You know, they don't just hand matches out to anybody. They hand matches out to people that work hard, that they feel deserve that opportunity, and they're not going to put just anybody in the ring with one of their stars that they invest a ton of money, TV, and time to. They're going to put somebody in there that they trust and somebody that they know can hold their own and handle that. And for me, I was one of those guys, and I'm just grateful for the fact that Keith Lee didn't kill me. I'm grateful for the fact that WWE gave me an opportunity. I'm happy how the match went. I couldn't be more happier with the crowd reaction. It was just one of the best nights of my life, and it was the second match that I had in the WWE on that day. I wrestled Keith Lee. I think it was October 15th, 2021 for SmackDown. It was in Ontario, California at the Toyota Arena, and my agent was Shane Hurricane Helms. And literally, when I got back, I said, "Did you have anything for me? Anything you want to talk about?" And Shane gave me the thumbs up, and I knew I did a great job. And it was just really good. This was when Keith Lee was on his way out. Yeah, I think he got let go, a little bit after that. But it's one of the best memories of my life, and I hold that deeply and closely to my heart.
Funny enough, I was actually at that show and saw that match in person.
Oh wow! Did you get any pictures or videos?
Um, I did, but I since changed my phones since that time.
Darn.
So they're on that phone, so I kind of have to look for that.
No worries, no worries. If you get it, let me know. Send it to me, man. I'll shoot you something.
I definitely will. I just remember, that was when they were trying to get over the Bearcat Keith
The
Lee.
Bearcat.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So that was awesome to say. Like, wow, I was there as well.
Yes.
Um, Now you could correct me if I'm wrong here, but William Regal had some influence on bringing you into WWE.
No, with William Regal, actually, it was the opposite. There was stuff I can't really get into, but there was an issue with the star there from the indie days, and it held me back from getting any opportunities. And I was actually told by William Regal not to come back, but
Oh,
I didn't give up. I kept striving. I kept working hard until I got back there to WWE, and he got to see me every time I was there and talked to me directly and gave me the best advice any wrestler has ever given me in my life. And because of William Regal, I am a better wrestler, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. I am a better wrestler today than I've ever been every time I have a conversation with William Regal. So thank you to him for not letting me come back or telling me to give up, and then seeing me and saying, "Hey, stick with it, kid."
that's awesome. Hey, Scudo.
Now, I want to go a little bit back in your career because I had found a picture of someone who, in my in my growing years in high school, if you were a true fan of wrestling, it was WWF, WWE, WCW, ECW, and XPW. And your your trainer and one of your first mentors is someone unconventional when it comes to that for most casual fans. And I'm talking about Supreme,
Yeah.
one of the founding fathers of making deathmatch wrestling more acceptable. Uh, as early as the late '90s, early 2000s. I would like to know, how did Supreme come to train you?
I met Supreme in training, I think my first week. I started with a company called Santino Bros Wrestling Academy in Norwalk, California, and the head trainer there was Joey Chaos Munoz from XPW. Rockstar Joey Chaos. He was the head trainer. There you
Hollywood
go.
would take money.
Yes, yes. So I was at a Staples Center in Los Angeles, and I kept getting these flyers as I crossed the street, and it said, "Want to be a pro wrestler? Train here. Call us, Santino Bros." Blah blah blah. And I was like, this isn't real. And then I got another one, and it was a bunch of like shirtless guys, and I was like, "God dang it, I don't want strippers." And the guy was like, "Dude, it's it's wrestling. It's pro wrestling. We have a school. Check it out." And I said, "Is it legit?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm one of the students." And I was like, "Oh crap." So I took that flyer home. The next day I called, I signed up, and I was in class with, Joey Chaos. And here's the thing is, I was a fan of WCW and WWF. I had no idea about ECW. I had no idea about XPW or indie wrestling itself. All that existed was WCW and WWF. So seeing these guys train me, I had no idea that they were famous, especially in the Los Angeles area, the California area. I didn't know that they were big deals. I just picked them. And I saw a wrestling ring, and I was like, I'm going to get in it and learn this and do it. And one of those guys were Supreme. I was trained by 11 different people in Santino Bros, not just Supreme, but I met him, and he took a liking to me, and I know that because he beat the tar out of me, and he made me fight. He made me earn it, and I am the man I am, the wrestler I am today, and I am as tough as they come because of Supreme. And I love him. I miss him. I wish he was still here. He passed away recently, a few years back, and we have never really recovered from that. He was a big part of Santino Bros. He was a big part of all the students as well. He was just the sweetest man you'll ever meet. Every time I saw him, I gave him the biggest hug, and I would always ask him, "Are you proud of me? Am I doing okay? Is there anything I could do to do better?" And he goes, "Nope, nope, you got it. Keep doing what you're doing, kid." I would always offer to take off his boots when I'd see him at shows because he was a little older and a little more sore. So I'd always try to pay homage and give him my respect and my full attention and command and make sure that he was okay. And I miss doing that for him. I miss going to Los Angeles shows and seeing him there, whether it's visiting or wrestling. I just miss helping him out and seeing his smile. And he was so scary. He was, coming in as a kid training, you know what I mean? He was just so scary. And there's a few videos on YouTube where you can see he beat the crap out of me. And I love him. I miss him. And I wish he was still here.
All right, absolutely. Supreme, big part of deathmatch wrestling, and
Absolutely, guys. I gotta tell you, I was trained by 11 different people, and a lot of those guys were from XPW. Guys like Joey Chaos, Mongol Santino, Supreme, Angel Exotico, Robbie Phoenix, Rico Dynamite, Steve Payne, Clay Motley, Eddie Carnage, Jezebel, and BC Killer. Those are all my trainers, and I just hope that I'm honoring them in the best way, and I hope I'm making them proud.
But at least it wasn't Veronica Kane.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
All right, James, back to you.
Now, you were on the HLW top 500 list.
Yes.
You were 91 last year. What does something like that mean to you out of the 500 names to break the 100?
I think it's fantastic. I think it's cool that someone ranked me number 91 out of 500 Latin American wrestlers, that I am one of the 100 best Latin American wrestlers going today. And if you look at that list, there's a lot of wrestlers that are on that list under 100. And I'm one of the 100 best wrestlers in the world, Latin wrestlers, I'm sorry. It's just amazing. It's a good feeling. Although it is someone's opinion, I felt the same way. I feel like I am one of the best Latin wrestlers around. I feel like I am one of the best wrestlers in the world today. I go out and I show that every single time I step into a ring. I've been performing literally every single weekend for 15 to 16 years now. I prove myself every single time, and I leave. I leave with a new fan, or I make casuals turn into wrestling fans and fans of Gino Rivera, and all of that. Whether it's my training, my ring work, my ring attire, what I do in the ring, the way I wrestle, what I say, how I promote myself, how I move. I believe I can agree that I'm one of the top Latin American wrestlers in the world, and 91 is just fine. But I look to be somehow in the top 10, and I'm gonna make that happen. Hopefully this year.
Well, I mean, in 2022, you were 212, and then in 23, 91. So if that's a major jump. So
That's a major jump.
it
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me if you were in the top 10 this year.
Yeah, I'm not one to go to PWI and insert my name and pay people to put me in a magazine and stuff like that. Much love to everybody that does that, and but for me, I let my hard work speak for itself. And again, I don't enter myself in any kind of list and book and magazine. I just, if they hear about me, they hear about me. But obviously, you saw, I went from 200 something to 91. Somebody obviously was doing the work, putting in the work like I should. And the facts don't lie and results don't lie. So that's why I'm number 91. I hope to jump a few more spots drastically, this year. We'll see.
Oh, yeah. Now, I think it's time for Gino's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
James, you cut out.
Oh, can you hear
Yeah, I
me?
lost you.
Can you hear me
No.
now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you just cut out a sentence in the middle.
Okay. Okay. Gino's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
I have tons. Obviously, I've been traveling for years. So, I mean, I have weird experiences at parties and weird experiences between wrestlers and legends that I've met and missed flights. And, a few of them that stick out of my mind is, hanging out at an airport randomly with X-Pac. I was on a show with him and he saw me from the show and he came and sat next to me and he just wanted to have a conversation, and we didn't talk about wrestling at all. And before he went, he's like, "Hey, would you like to grab a picture? You didn't ask for one." And I was like, "I didn't know if it was okay." He was, "Of course it's okay." And we took the picture, and I'll never forget how sweet of a man that was, how nice he was to me. I got to work with guys like Mick Foley, who was awesome, but was a germaphobe and didn't want to shake hands and gave me the fist bump. But
Yes,
I
that's
I got to work. I got to work with Mick Foley, which is really awesome. He was just so much fun and just a blast in a glass. I got to work and travel with guys like Gilbert, who he's just a ball. Like he just likes to laugh and smile and tell jokes, and he's just so great. I also got to step in the ring and travel with guys like Samurai Del Sol, Kalisto, who couldn't be more of a sweetheart. This guy is so giving and so nice when he really doesn't have to be and doesn't and shouldn't, but he is. I got pancakes at IHOP with Karrion Cross when he was in the middle of a TNA contract dispute, and all this man wanted to do was eat pancakes in peace, and here I am being a Puerto Rican talking his ear off. And I love that. You know what I mean? I have good experiences with guys like Chris Masters, where I saved Chris Masters' life by putting my hand up after we hit the brakes really hard in a car. And little old me couldn't save Chris Masters, but Chris Masters was like, "That is the sweetest thing ever, man. That you put me first and you held me down to the seat, even though I'd still, blow through your hand and go right through the glass. But I love you anyway for doing that. Up to a point where me and Darren Young, Fred Rosser, sang Chris Brown all the way from Phoenix to Tucson, and I love him for that. I've got a lot of good stories with a lot of good people. Wrestling Darby Allin in I think it was Tucson, and before we got to call our match, it was, hey, he sat me down. He's like, hey, tell me about you. I don't want to talk about wrestling. I just want to know about you. And I got to sit there and talk to Darby Allin and let him know, hey, like this is what I do. This is what I love. And this is where I come from. I come from a really hard, troubling life. And he could relate to that. So he was just very awesome. I got another story with Ken Anderson. One of the wrestlers was spitting tobacco into his water jug, and Ken Anderson thought it was water, and he went to pour it on himself and pour it in his mouth. And the tobacco went into Ken Anderson's mouth and throat, and he threw up right in front of me. And he's like, "Who the hell did that?" So stuff like that. I also got to hang out with Tessa Blanchard, who's really nice. I know she's had a little bit of trouble along the way, but she was awesome to me, and she's just very funny and she's cool, man. So I got stories for days with Hacksaw Jim Duggan also wanting to smoke weed with me, and I don't smoke. I don't do that, but this is a guy I watched on TV and idolized as a kid, and he's like, "Hey kid, do you smoke the reefer?" And I was like, "No sir." He goes, "All right, where's the bathroom?" And I said, "That way." He goes, "I'll be right back." So just wrestling has, yeah, exactly right. Wrestling has been one of the greatest things that has ever happened to me. The people I meet, the people I hang out with, the people I talk to and experience the road with, I couldn't be more happier. I got me and Juventud traveling from Tucson to Phoenix, just hanging out in a car, and him just talking, and me trying not to giggle because he has a short tongue, and but it's awesome.
Yeah, I would say those are some wild experiences to say the least.
Yeah. Absolutely. I got Mark Henry chewing me out, just kind of telling me, what to do in wrestling and how he got there, and just a lot of good stuff, man. Billy Kidman giving me kudos for sliding in during a tryout in WWE where there was an odd man out. Jinder Mahal and Baron Corbin pulling me aside, showing me a great punch that they would want to see me do. Drew McIntyre beating me up at the Royal Rumble 2019. He entered at number 16. I was in his way. He grabbed me and threw me over his head. It's on the Peacock Network. You can check that out. I just got a lot of good experiences with all the top guys, and I couldn't be more happier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned a number of names that either James or myself have come in contact with. Fred Sampson, Darren Young, another good friend of mine from when I started with the NYWC. And I know you mentioned another, but as soon as they enter my head, they leave just as quickly.
Mick Foley, Goldberg, Drew McIntyre, Karrion Kross, Brock Lesnar. I've got to work with a lot of these guys. Male models, Maximum Male Models, Tony Nese, Ken Anderson, Tessa Blanchard, Darby Allin, Samurai Del Sol.
Oh, okay. That actually triggered something. Mark Henry. I was in the Sheraton Hotel by Kennedy Airport around WrestleMania 29. In fact, the weekend of. I'm staying with my girlfriend. I go down into the lobby because they offer fresh cookies, and you can't resist them. And who is in the lobby but Mark Henry? That was amazing. And there's someone else you mentioned, and my God, my memory really sucks.
Chris Masters, I mentioned. Scorpio Sky can't dance, but I love him anyway. I've hung out with him at a club. Brian Kendrick, we've had beef for years, and I love him now. There's so many people I got to work with. James Ellsworth. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say his name, but yeah, guys like that. Ken Anderson.
Switching from wrestling. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I remember it was Tony Nese. Going back from NYWC to being there for him and a lot of his career, and everybody thought whenever they saw him and I together that I was his fatter brother.
Oh gosh.
Even though our bodies, our body frames are not. We're not anywhere near, fat. Okay, just a humorous little anecdote. All right, James, I'm sorry, throwing it back.
Switching from pro wrestling, you actually make and produce music. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I've been a rapper since 2014. I write, produce. I do it all. I taught myself how to do it because I wanted to do it so bad, and I was a broke kid with a computer mic and a computer recording over instrumentals with my friends. I was a battle rapper when I first started. I used to battle rap in schools during lunch and break and in class, and I always thought I was going to be the next, I don't know, big time rapper, and it never turned out that way, and I'm glad that it didn't because wrestling was the way my life was supposed to go. And I love music with a passion. I have over 13 music videos, 20 albums that I've put out online. I performed in different states, California, New Mexico, numerous times. I just love music. I'm a collector. I collect all types of music. My favorite genre is pop. I love pop music with a passion. You name it, boy bands, girl bands. I love the cheesy stuff, and it's amazing because nobody expects me to like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Nobody expects me to like Hanson and Spice Girls and Backstreet Boys, but I love all that. And a lot of people think I like stuff like Tupac, and I don't like Tupac, and Green Day, and I don't like Green Day. I like boy bands. I like pop music with a passion.
Well, you definitely have some fantastic collaborations that I've noticed. The one with Debbie Friday was quite the banger, if I do say so myself.
I'm sorry, with who? Debbie who?
Debbie Friday?
I'm not sure. Don't. I don't recall.
What's in your bio for your link tree?
Okay, yeah, definitely. I don't know. I've done so. I have so many songs. I have over 300 songs that I've literally done since 2004. So I can't tell you exactly who I worked with, when I worked with. It's literally I would write like 10 songs a day and go through it, record it, save it, put it in the bank, and either upload it or never upload it. So I've done stuff with Hi, my name's T. She's one of these wild, crazy housewife girls. You know what I mean? I did that with her when she was like 19 or 20, and she's a big famous star today. But she told me I can't put it out, or she's gonna seek legal action because she was really horrible. So I got stuff with a lot of people. I love music to death.
I think that's a great segue into the colossal question. Let's say that they're making a movie about you. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first three songs on your movie soundtrack?
Probably Fight to Survive. It's one from the Bloodsport movie. I really love that one. I like the Willy Wonka "Come with Me" and
Pure
you'll see.
imagination.
Yes, I love Pure Imagination. I do love that one, and I love. I can say Beauty and the Beast, the main song. Uh, where Beauty and the Beast. Those are probably on my soundtrack, whether you guys agree or not. That's kind of weird, right? But that's what I would put on my soundtrack.
Hey, you're
We
the
don't
producer,
disagree with
you can
every
put
song.
whatever you want on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we don't disagree with any choices.
there you go. There you go. That's what I like.
Alright, Scooters, ask the second part.
Now that we have the soundtrack established, everybody knows that's the most important part of any movie. Um, and of course, now after taking care of all the paperwork, we're now moving on to the 35th most important step, and that, of course, is casting. Who would play Gino Rivera in the Gino Rivera blockbuster wrestling career movie? And P.S. You cannot say yourself because you are obliged to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
I'd say two people. One being Pete Davidson because he looks like me.
Okay.
I
Uh,
love that.
I could see that. Um, and I'd probably say, darn, actually, I'm going to say three people. Stephen Curry, because I
Okay.
look like him.
Oh yeah.
And I'd say Kane Brown, he's a country singer, because I also look like
Oh
him.
man.
So I
Yeah.
want people, everywhere I go, I get mistaken for these three men. And it's, at first it was funny, now I just get mad. Uh, because I'm like, no, I am not Pete Davidson. No, I am not Stephen Curry. What would I be doing here at a 7-Eleven grabbing a Slurpee if I was Stephen Curry? No, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get mistaken for those three guys a lot. Even Chris Brown and Bow Wow at one point, but I'll take it, but I just would rather have somebody that looks like me play me versus, I don't know, having a guy like Ricky Steamboat play me. It wouldn't make sense. But that's what I would like. You know what I mean?
I mean, if
Right.
you're going into Subway, it would be wanted that they believe that you're Stephen Curry.
Yeah, it's happened. I was at a gas station. Someone said, they had a camera and they were waiting by the pump, and I'm like, why is this person waiting by me? And she was trying to figure out who I was. I had shades on, really big glasses on, and she goes, excuse me. And I was like, hi, can I help you? And I'm thinking they're going to ask for money. So I was like, I don't have anything. And she goes, no, no, I don't want anything. I just want to know if I can get a picture. And I'm like, oh, they must know me as Gino Rivera. So I take the picture and she goes, can you sign this? And I was like, yeah. So I signed Gino Rivera and they go, that's, you're not Kane Brown? And I said, I'm not Kane Brown. I'm Gino Rivera. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, we thought you were the country singer. I'm sorry. And I was like, okay, well, here's the autograph. And it was on the back of a receipt. And they're like, no, you can keep it. And I was like, damn.
Wow.
But they,
Wow.
they had the picture. So, hey, you know what I mean? So I love that.
That bitch.
Now, every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people significant to you in your story that would be in your movie, and who would play them?
Gosh. I'd say the 3 that I mentioned before because just for the reason that they look like me. I'd want them to play me in the movie. But I think Pete Davidson can probably pull some heartstrings, some tug. He's proven himself to be a really good actor, comedian, and I think he would definitely get my story across. You know what I mean? I have a really troubled childhood, troubled adulthood, and I took the best of whatever I had, and I made it really, really good. Instead of I always tell people I have all the ingredients to be the world's worst human being, where they should lock me in a jail forever. But I turned my life around and I made my reality, I made my dreams come true, and I changed the course of life that was given to me. Somebody dealt, laid all these cards in front of me, and I said, nope, I got my own. Like, I'm very happy with the way my life has turned out, and I couldn't be more happier.
That's fantastic. I mean, honestly, God bless you. Honestly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Either way, it sounds like an incredible movie, and you could pre-order the tickets now. Onto a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
I'm born and raised in Hawaii, and that is not a Hawaiian pizza, and pineapples do not go on pizza at all.
Okay.
Hold on.
So we are very anti pineapple on pizza.
I am not a fan. I've never tried it, but I don't see how you could mix fruits with tomato sauce and pepperonis and sausage, and I can't do that. I will vomit.
Okay.
Don't worry. We'll learn that when we're older.
Now, on a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself running my school, bringing up the youth, saving the youth. I see me training my daughters, who will probably one of them will probably be a wrestler out of all 3 of them.
Awesome.
My son maybe, but as far as my girls, one of them is going to be Gina Rivera. So we'll see which one. We'll see which one of them jumps in the game and gives them hell just like their dad. But for the most part, I do see myself still being a trainer, not so much in the business as far as a wrestler. Believe it or not, I try to retire every single January for the last 5 years, and I cannot because the bookings keep coming, the money keeps coming, the flights keep coming, the belts. Guys, I've got like 9 different championships hanging out in my office right now. I'm a champion in like 9 different states. I'm on a roll, and the only thing that I could do, literally, the only thing that's left for me to do is to get signed, and hopefully that happens. And if it doesn't, I'm okay with that. But I will be running my school and training the youth and saving people's lives around Albuquerque. There's a lot of young kids that graduate and they have no idea what to do with themselves, or they graduate and they want to wrestle, but they don't know how to get into it. Well, I am here to help you. I am here to make your life better, and I'm here to show you the road that I took to get where I am at today. And that is away from guns, away from gangs, away from drugs, and any negativity that surrounds death, jail, or being in trouble. I am here for the youth in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I'm just so happy to serve my city, my state, my country, and my business, the industry that I love the most.
All right. And now, since we're nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Let's do it.
This is our speed round or bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
Yes.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Undertaker.
Worst wrestler.
Gosh. I have no idea. It was a female wrestler. Eve Torres. Not Eve Torres. Eve.
No.
The
Wait. Oh.
the pink girl.
Yes.
The pink.
You.
Eva Marie.
There we go.
Yes. That is our default answer for anyone who refuses to answer the question.
It's Eva Marie.
Yes.
Definitely.
And we still accept that answer. Your main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Doink the Clown.
Okay. If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
I'd say Hulk Hogan or Yokozuna.
Okay. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is
a word to let someone else know we're talking and someone else is trying to get into our business, and you don't want them to know what we're talking about and saying about our industry.
We also would have accepted is quite good on toast.
Gosh.
squash.
That's good too.
Squash. Vegetable or fruit?
Fruit.
It is indeed a fruit. It has seeds. Tomato logic.
Thank you. I knew I was smart.
New Japan wrestler Taichi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
I don't know that question. I'd say, because I wear shorts or pants, so I don't know. But to each its own, man. Whatever you feel comfortable wearing, you wear. I love it. If you want to show a little bit of cheeks, baby, show them. If you don't want to, don't.
Okay. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No, I have not. Absolutely not. No one really knows the wrestlers today, which is sad. And I'm sure I could literally talk about The Rock, seeing him on an Enquirer magazine or one of these magazines go, hey, this guy, have you seen any movies about him? Yeah, he's in The Mummy. Oh, he's in The Scorpion King. But if they see Darby Allin, they won't really know who he is or what he does. So no, I haven't, unfortunately. But I love Darby Allin, and he's a saint in my book.
And that is the correct answer. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with us.
Thank you guys so much. Again, it's been fun. I can't wait to do this again. We can probably do another round. I can talk forever. I'm Puerto Rican, so it's in my blood. I can literally talk you guys to death. But guys, this has been amazing. You guys can follow me more. If you guys love this interview, you'll love the interaction I create with all of my fans and acquaintances and talent and backstage personnel. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Gino Toldyouso, one word, all one word. And I've got a few cities that I'm coming to in February. I've got Wilson, Texas on the 3rd, Cheyenne, Wyoming on the 10th, Montana on the 24th. It's going to be a fun year. I am literally booked almost every single weekend, and I can't wait to meet you. And please, take the picture.
And where can we find your merchandise?
I have a site that you guys can all check out. It is on my link tree, and if you can't find it there, don't you worry. It is called Gino Shop, or you can check out Off the Ropes at Wix. And all of my stuff is there. And I also have a Pro Wrestling Tees account. And if you don't like what's on Pro Wrestling Tees, I also have my own merchandise that I make myself, I ship myself, and I sign, personally autograph. And when you smell the shirts, when you smell the hats, the beanies, you will have your own personalized scent of Gino Rivera. That's right, you can smell me as soon as you open the box, and I smell delicious.
That takes if you smell what the Rock is cooking to a whole new level.
Absolutely, The Rock has got nothing on me.
And you don't have to type it into your Google machines. All of the links to all his social media and merchandise will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox, simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Buy a damn shirt. Okay, of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, vote on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Low Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us tomorrow as we interview Pete Rosado, and every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. Follow the show at Wrestling with E. Vote on X, Instagram, and Thread for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Briefly, Scooter, tell us where we can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at ScooterDust, and of course, you can always find me and James as the Remix, the first and only live streaming alternate commentary podcast comes your way. And the next time we come to you
Elimination
is
Chamber.
Elimination Chamber live from Perth, Australia. Alternate commentary. You have the choice.
Alright, Gino, when I say wrestling lit, you say entertainment, okay?
Yes.
For our special guest, Gino Rivera, Calico Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.